Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters Net podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Joining me today is a special guest hailing from the UK, Shannon. Actually, I thought it was Darcy, but Darcy? Is that how you pronounce it?
No, it's Darcy. My name on here is my actual name. Like my stage name is without the apostrophe because it gets confusing.
Okay, I see. I was going to say Darcy, but then I'm seeing the apostrophe. It's throwing me off, thinking like, wait, is that how I go? I think like that's like some
No,
crazy
no,
French right now.
Darcy.
So,
No, it's Darcy.
alright, that's good to hear. How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No worries. And actually, which part of the UK are you hailing from? Because I've interviewed a good number of people from the UK already.
Oh, cool. So I'm from Essex. It's quite near a town called Southend-on-Sea.
I'm trying to
So
remember, because I think one of my drumming friends, Tyson Wade, I think he's from Essex. It was either that or Sussex. It was one of the two.
I know Tyson. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you show up in some of his videos? Or are you good friends with him?
I met him on YouTube actually. We were subscribed to each other for a while. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine actually. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Actually, I know some of his Instagram videos he puts up. It actually shows. Actually, I think it's his wife too, but I think he also shows some friends coming on, jamming on his drum set too. So I wasn't sure if you were on one of his videos or no.
I don't think I'm. Maybe I don't know. I know we've met up a couple of times, but I'm not sure I've actually been in any of his drumming videos.
I see. Yeah, Tyson's a cool dude. Actually, go check out his interview afterwards because I actually did interview him a while back. So
Yeah, I had no idea. I'll have to look at that actually.
I'll provide the link to you and also provide it down in the description in case anyone wants to check it out later too. So, all right.
Cool.
So, Shannon, welcome to my podcast right here. The way this works is we get to know you more both as the vocalist, because you say rock star and also wanted to write songs too. So I don't know if you play an instrument too.
I don't. I as much as I would love to. I've tried learning the guitar. I can't get the hang of it. I know a bit of piano, but not that much.
Well, you can elaborate on that at least a little bit too. But let's get to know you more, just to kind of rephrase it a little bit. Get to know you more both as the vocalist, but also as the individual too. So I got the questions right here. Ready to roll?
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'll start with the first one right here. Tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Shannon Darcy, and how did she become the vocalist she is today?
So I am 19 years old, and as I've said, I'm from Essex. I have always loved singing ever since I was little. My earliest memories of singing is probably being in the car with my mum, and listening to like the radio. She used to have like CDs and play like it'd just be so much different like genres of music, and I think that's why I kind of love so many genres now. And the first time I really realized I wanted to do singing as I do it now was probably when I think I just turned 10 years old, and we were on holiday at one of those like little caravan parks, and they were doing this competition, this talent competition, and I decided to enter. And I just remember going on stage and absolutely loving the feeling of being on stage and actually singing to a crowd. And from there, I just kind of fell in love with the idea of doing music.
I guess when did you start doing a piano, and when did you start doing guitar?
So I've never had proper lessons with piano. I've just kind of, my mum has like a keyboard from when she was little, so I've know a few things on that. I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm a pianist at all, but I know a few little songs on there, and I've tried learning the guitar. I'm absolutely hopeless at that, so I kind of just steer clear from that. As much as I would love to do it, three different people have tried to teach me, so I don't know. It's obviously just not for me.
I mean, sometimes it takes time too, but there also has to be a commitment involved as well. But I guess is this whole singing now, is this like part of your career? Or do you kind of work like multiple jobs?
So I would love to do music full time. That's what I aim to do eventually. But I do work a full time job as well on the side. So music is kind of at the moment I do in between working my job, and hopefully soon I'll be able to just do the music.
Sorry if I just still going. I would say, how did you overcome like stage fright? Because normally, people walk out on the stage, you see like a big crowd of audience. It's either you embrace it or you fall apart right there. So I guess how did you overcome that?
I honestly, I don't think I've really overcome the idea of stage fright. I always get nervous before I do go on stage. Certainly, like when I was younger, I used to, be really nervous. I'd feel a bit sick. But I think when I actually went on there and I sang the song, it's only when probably about like halfway through the song I actually think, okay, I'm all right now. And I use sort of those nerves to help me put on the show, if that makes sense. So I think nerves are a good thing, because without them they don't give you the adrenaline you need.
I'll say, yeah, it always comes down to the adrenaline rush, or as I like to,
Yeah.
well, I call it killing on adrenaline, that sort of thing too. You just get in there, or it's like some sort of pre-game ritual too, where I always think about like Pulp Fiction too, with like Bruce Willis when he's that boxer. He's like kind of hitting stuff like that. He's like, ooh, that sort of thing, ooh, that sort of thing. So
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Actually, do you watch Pulp Fiction at all? Or I guess what sort of Quentin Tarantino movies do you like?
I love Quentin Tarantino movies. I've not seen Pulp Fiction in a very long time, but I do like Django Unchained. That's probably one of my favorite ones. But I am a bit of a movie nerd, so I like watching all types of movies, really.
They still got the typical movie theater, because it seems like it's like almost a dying breed here in the States, because nowadays when you got streaming, I don't think a whole lot of people go to the movie theaters like they used to anymore. So
yeah, I mean, I go to the cinema quite a lot, of movie theater. I always go there when a new movie comes out. If it's one that I'm interested in, I'll go and see it on the day it comes out in the cinema. So I think it's just preference, but I prefer to watch a movie at the cinema when it comes out, because it's the atmosphere, isn't it? It's cooler with the big screen and like all the people.
And the surround sound too, yeah. That's what I was kind of referencing there. So, yeah, I can see what you mean too. But I feel like going by yourself, I'd say it's better with friends, to be honest. And that's why I always say, like, hey, you guys want to go to the movie theater, that sort of thing. So, I can see what you mean too.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But to each his own too. So, I guess talk about your little career you got going here, because I think the way I kind of phrased the question was like talk about your music. I guess do you just use it under your name, or do you have like a name you kind of go by?
I go by Shannon Darcy, but just without the apostrophe, because the reason is obviously when you joined on Skype, it's a perfect example. People get confused on if it's Darcy or Darcy, so I go by Shannon Darcy without the sort of apostrophe, because it's just easier. And yeah, that's just the name I go by. Yeah.
I guess when did you start doing like your own music and posting it on the various platforms?
So in terms of like posting my singing and stuff, I've done that ever since I was younger. Sort of posting like cover videos, and obviously after I did that performance on stage when I was little, that sparked like obviously the idea of wanting to do music. So I would post YouTube videos, and my mum would help me do them all, and I'd enter like little local competitions and open mics. And then it wasn't until this year, actually, or the end of last year, I was able to actually finally get into a studio and release my first song, which came out at the beginning of this year, Snakes and Ladders. And from there, it's just been like, yeah, it's just been a bit crazy in the best sort of way.
I was going to say, was that freak show? I think it was one of your posts, I think, because I'm checking out your Facebook page right now. I see freak show, and that's one of your posts right here with a cover and everything too. It's like purple background and all sorts of. I was gonna say, I was trying to remember the movie because it kind of reminds me of it too, or like those animated sort of Halloween movies. Unfortunately,
yeah,
so.
Yeah, no, that's sort of the vibe, like the freaky vibe I was going for. Yeah, that came out last Friday. Yeah, that's the song that I was working on for quite a while. It's probably my favourite one I've done so far because it's just so me. Sort of like goes back to talking about how much I love movies and stuff. It's about like the villains and sort of like their story as opposed to always being the hero's story. So I quite enjoy that sort of thing.
You know, I think as you get older, you start to appreciate, or at least have some sort of sympathy for the villains in some cases.
Yeah.
I would say a perfect example would be Hades from the Hercules, the Disney movie.
Yes.
Was that James Woods who voiced him? The actor?
Pardon?
Was the actor who voiced Hades, was it James Woods?
It was James Woods, yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, he was awesome, man. I had to say that. This was always funny, and I'd say once you start digging a little deeper, you think like, boy, the heroes were actually a bunch of dicks, you know, that sort of thing too. So
Yeah, exactly.
so I can say what you mean too. That's why I think that's why it makes movies so good at times. Is like once you dig deeper into certain characters, you find out it's not just, oh, here's the villain, he's the dark side of the force, or here's the protagonist, they're the light side, that sort of thing too. There's a little bit of grayness that sort of evolves, so it kind of does this sort of thing now where it kind of merges, and then there's like some sort of justified, even though it's not entirely ethical, but you can understand why they would do their heinous acts. So
Exactly.
so I guess who would you consider has been your like favorite villain?
My favorite villain. I don't know. Probably. I do love Heath Ledger's Joker. I love the Joker in general, but like Heath Ledger's Joker is probably one of my favorite villains of all time. He's got to be, and it's probably my favorite movie of all time. To be fair, The Dark Knight. But yeah, his version of the Joker is really cool.
You know what? I would say after watching it, I would say you start off a bit rocky, but then he got progressively better as the movie went on too. Because I think when he's like first introduced, he's being like those group of bad guys, for instance. I would say his laugh wasn't on par, but then he kept getting better. So, and rest in peace to Heath Ledger. He was such a badass actor, and I think it was A Knight's Tale. Of ones with I think that's the movie it was called. Yeah, and then I think that's where I was first introduced to him too, because I think me and my sister, we really loved that movie too. And,
that's a good movie.
And then Christian Bale. I was gonna say, what'd you think of the Mark Hamill sort of Joker too in the animated series?
I love Mark Hamill's Joker. I love the animated. I would still sit and watch the animated series now. Like, I know it's a kids show, but it's just one of those like classic shows, you know, that you're not ever really too old to watch. I love Mark Hamill's version of the Joker.
I also have to laugh because I think as you get older, there's like certain shows you'd be like, that was actually a show we watched as kids.
Yeah.
So I could definitely say the animated series of Batman, and I know one that was pretty controversial was Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I recognise the name. I might know it if I saw it. I feel like I do recognise the name of it though.
As I say, there was some pretty controversial moments. It would be like, they put that in a kids show, that sort of thing. And then there's also the whole thing with the adult humor that just manages to sneak by, and then the adults get it, but the kids don't get it. So
yeah.
I would say the other thing too was I also stumbled upon various YouTube videos where villains will like give their big quotes, for instance, that somehow have like a big meaningful impact per se. I'd say Homelander was one. I think they also brought in Kung Fu Panda with Tai Lung, and some things he talked about and why his life ended up the way it is because of Shifu. So I'd probably recommend those ones. Those are some good videos too. You can easily find them these days on YouTube. But
oh yeah, for sure.
But I guess speaking of YouTube, I guess, do you still use your YouTube channel nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't uploaded on there for quite a while because of like the momentum on my other social pages are just it's sort of, I'm getting used to sorting them all out at the same time. Obviously now that my Facebook page is like, there's quite a lot of, I've got such an amazing like support on there, part of a few communities on there where we all sort of chat to each other and know each other. So having to like, obviously with the Facebook page, my Instagram and YouTube, trying to get on top of it all is quite difficult. Sort of this year, I've been trying to balance it all. But I do use it. I do visit channels on YouTube, and obviously I upload my music on there and covers when I can. So yeah, I'd say I still definitely use it.
Let's get a debate together just in a little bit too, but I guess still sticking with YouTube, I guess. When did you start that channel? Is there something you hope to achieve once you at least find some sort of balance in your schedule?
I started uploading on that channel literally must have been like a week when I came back from that holiday when I was 10. I think I uploaded that video, and from there it was like I would upload every week or so, like a different cover. And yeah, I've been doing that for quite a long time. So that's how old that channel is now. I hope to, just carry on growing the channel, really. Same as my other social medias, just growing and chatting to people.
Keeping it simple, needless to say. So, all right, fair enough. And I guess let's speak about Band Together, that nice little Facebook group that Vox and Sticks had put together, which I actually had the privilege of interviewing them not too long ago too. So I guess.
Oh, really?
So I guess how'd you get involved with the group? Did they reach out to you?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't actually remember. I think, yeah, either someone found one of my videos, or I found one of their videos, and then obviously I was introduced to Christina from Vox and Sticks, and then yeah, it sort of just happened like that. And honestly, the people on there, they're all so, I just love how friendly and supportive everyone is. Like the things that they've helped me, share with my music, and obviously doing it in return. It's just so nice to actually see other musicians supporting each other, because sometimes in the industry you do get that sort of clashing where people are trying to like get higher than the other person. But what I like about Band Together is that there's none of that on there. It's just all chill, and everyone's just friends, and I just love it. It's so cool.
I think a lot of the posters now would be like, if you follow me, I'll follow you, that sort of thing. So it's almost like,
yeah,
we'll post our links to like our Spotify page that shows all to our music and everything too most of the time. I know I kind of just introduced myself and started showing my podcast off, so needless to say, I got a nice crowd, at least a nice little list lined up so far too. So
that's good.
Making headway, that's what we would say. So that's all good. I guess, who do you consider to be like your biggest influence?
So overall, I would definitely say it's my mum for sure. No, she's my influence and my biggest like inspiration. She's my rock. I mean, I grew up with just me and my mum. So yeah, she's definitely. I definitely wouldn't be where I was without her. So yeah, I mean, she supported me in all my music, and she's kind of like, when I had to get to gigs and places, we make a joke that she was like a taxi driver and. And stuff like that. So yeah, she's definitely my biggest influence overall. In terms of musical influences, definitely I love Youngblood. He's like my favorite singer. I've met him once as well, and I love the message he gives about being yourself and forgetting what other people think, and his music is really cool. And yeah, off the top of my head, Lady Gaga's another one with the same sort of message, and Eminem, and yeah, I've got quite a few musical influences for sure.
Would you say your music's more into the hip hop sort of scene, or are you trying to like branch out and kind of incorporate different genres into your music?
I love listening to a very wide range of music. I think if you were to shuffle my playlist, it would be quite a shocker. You could probably get like, I don't even know, like heavy metal to country. It's just very random. But in terms of my own music, I think I love the alternative rock stuff and the alternative pop, dark pop. But I would not be opposed to doing hip hop. That would be cool. I think people wouldn't expect it from me. But I think it'd be something cool to try for sure. I'd love to give rap a go as well. I don't know how well that would go down, but I'd love to give it a go.
Well, so you had the color hair already, so I think most people would assume that she's into metal, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, I guess what made you want to dye? Was it blue and mixed in purple too?
It's like, so the funny thing behind this, like I only got this done like a week ago. It's green, purple, and then blue underneath. I didn't know. I went into the hairdressers because my hairdresser Lou, she's like a family friend. She's been doing my mum's hair ever since my mum got like first married. So she's been doing my hair ever since I was like really little. And I sat down and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what colour I want to do it today. And she was like, well, choose three of your favourite colours. So I said, well, green, purple, and I don't know, blue. And she just went, right, okay, what's your favourite hair colour out of those three? And I said, well, I like the purple. And she's like, right, okay, we'll put purple on top, green there, and blue underneath. And I said, okay. Like, there was no, like, I didn't go in planning to sort of dye it like this. It's my favourite so far, though. I really like it. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you went in blind, as they would probably say, and just be like,
yeah,
work your magic. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Work your magic. That sort of thing too.
Yeah, I trust Lou completely with my hair, so I know she would make it look cool.
Actually, I know my sister lives a couple hours away from where I live, and sometimes she comes into town, and she'll go to one of family friends who also does hair work as well, and also helps with some barber work as well. But it's kind of funny too, especially you seem to trust more of the friends once you at least get to know them, at least, because I assume like you have to at least know like what sort of stores you want to, or at least any sort of businesses you want to go into first, like a Great Clips or whether it's like those local barbers, for instance. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't trust myself to do my hair. I remember before picture day at school, I think I was about 14, 15, and I had this urge to dye my hair blonde. I don't know why, but my friend was like, oh, I can help you with that. I'll help do it for you. So literally the Sunday night before school on the Monday, we dyed my hair blonde over the bath, and it went ginger on top, and then it went like really light on the ends, and it looked absolutely horrendous. So I had to go into school with this really awful hair colour. That picture day at school was well, let's just say we didn't end up buying the picture after.
There's a spot on the wall that's missing from the amount of years as we progressed from kindergarten to senior year of high school. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I sympathize. So sorry I had to go through that, but at least it all worked out in the end too. It's funny when you mentioned about your mom, because I know you said about taxi driver. I think nowadays it's going to be Uber driver. I think that's what the term now they're going to use nowadays too. But I guess is she pretty supportive in your doing these multiple jobs with singing and your other career?
Yeah, for sure. She I mean, I don't drive at the moment. I'm learning to drive at the moment, so especially like trying to get to, because my job I can do quite unsociable hours, because I work at a bingo hall which has like a sort of mini casino in it as well. So we're open till like after like 12 sometimes. So sometimes, you know, she'll come and pick me up if I do the late shift, and you know, if I've got a gig in the morning, or if, you know, she is very supportive like that. So you know, I have to hand it to her. Like I said, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have her help. And yeah,
I would say it's funny when you mentioned about Casino too, because there was actually a movie my dad was watching the other day. It was called Casino because it dealt with Vegas in like the 70s, I think it was. That was when the mafia was like ruling the casinos and able to like chip away or skim the profits, that sort of thing too. So I kind of dealt with that. And that was Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Sharon Stone. Big actors in that one. It was a great movie, but it's pretty intense too. So I don't know, are you big into mafia movies as well?
I do like a good like mafia movie. Robert De Niro, he's such a cool actor, especially like when you said like it's an intense movie, I was like, yeah, it's probably because Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci are in it. But that there are some, I think, definitely associate those two actors with the sort of mafia movies and like the mob boss movies and stuff.
I was gonna say it was a fight. I always figured it was funny too, because I was in Italy and I was actually in a town called Perugia not too long ago, and there was a restaurant we had to go down a set of steps, and it was almost like going into like an illegal gambling ring or something like that, or at least it gave like the presence of something like that because of like how tucked away it was from like everything else. I was thinking like, don't let that be her casino, that sort of thing. So all right, that's all good. But I guess I think the biggest thing now is COVID too. So I guess how bad did COVID impact you with your plans and everything?
I think as a family, we were hit quite hard with it. I mean, at first in 2020, none of us really got ill. At that time, me and my mum were still at our old house, and my stepdad and his dad were in their house. And then in 2021, I think it was in summer, my mum got really ill, and we just thought, she just thought it was the flu. And and then she actually ended up in hospital with COVID. And that same day, so did I, went into hospital as well. And then my stepdad's dad, who was in a completely different house, he went into hospital as well, all of us on the same day. And I think I was there for about just over a week. And obviously I wasn't allowed visitors. It was quite scary, actually. But coming out of the hospital and, like, you know, when I was, like, recovering, because it took a while to actually get my breath back. Like, even walking up the stairs was sort of difficult without getting out of breath. So as a singer, it took me like about 6 months before I was sort of back to singing like the big songs, because I like a good rock ballad or big ballad or whatever. So actually being able to sing those songs again, it took a while. I wouldn't say I had to teach myself how to sing again, but I definitely had to think about the breathing techniques a lot more than I do now, if that makes sense. So I think it was quite difficult, but I mean, it gave me a lot of time to write songs, which is where Snakes and Ladders and my other song Easier Said Than Done came from. So it had its bad moments, obviously, but some good came out of it for me.
Some sort of blessing in disguise, as I would technically like to say too. So, and yeah, that actually does sound pretty scary too. It was, I really don't know how else to really go there, because when you think about it, you're in the hospital room too, especially with COVID. You hear like some of the bad stories and everything too, and it's almost like, is this really the end? That sort of thing too. So.
I mean, I think what made it worse is because obviously my mum was in a completely different ward, but I wasn't allowed to like go and see her, so it's quite scary. I mean, we're all okay now. Like my mum's fine, my stepdad's dad, he's perfectly like fine as well in terms of COVID and stuff. So I think we were very lucky, but it was quite tough for us. But we're all good now, so.
That's good to hear, and good to have you along for the ride here, Shannon. So.
Thank you.
But I guess getting past COVID, I guess. What's your goals and plans as we keep trying to move forward in 2023 and then get into 2024?
I think for me personally, I just want to keep making music and keep sort of growing, like my audience and getting my music heard more. And yeah, I've got plans, like bigger plans that I'm working on behind the scenes at the moment with my own music and stuff. So I'm hoping soon that'll all like come into place. But yeah, just to keep on keeping it simple, making more music and getting heard, really. More gigs for sure. We've got a few exciting gigs coming up, so yeah, it's looking good.
Do you just tour locally, or do you kind of going around the UK?
At the moment, locally, I've done a few, like, when I say few, I mean like 1 or 2 or 3 sort of outside of my region, like Essex. But I do a lot of local gigs, sort of like in the community, and I've got the National Entertainment Awards coming up in November. So I won the South East Awards in, I think it was March. So I've now got to sort of like defend the title in November for the nation, basically. So that's going to be exciting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be cool.
I had to laugh when you say defend the title too. It's almost like going to be those wrestling sort of shows too. They're defending that sort of title. And in this corner, which I had no idea why we're even calling it a corner at all, we got Shannon Darcy, that sort of thing. So, but best of luck to you and congratulations. So that's all good.
Thank you.
But I don't think I asked what sort of gear you use. I guess you just use a microphone, or I guess do you have a little mixer that you take around with you?
Yes. So when I'm gigging, I'm absolutely terrible at production and stuff. I'm learning how to set up and stuff, but I've got a speaker, like a Bose speaker, and I've got my mic with that. So yeah, that's pretty much. If it's a bigger gig, I've got people I know who lend me their equipment, sort of with a mixer and with, you know, bigger speakers, etc. But for like local gigs, smaller gigs, I've got my my speaker and my mic does the job fine. Like I've got a gig in a local pub next week, so I'll just be bringing my speaker and my mic for that one, because I know the venue, I know, you know, what it's like in there, so that I know that will do the job. But I've just bought a laptop for actually creating music, because I really want to learn how to do that sort of recording side of things. So yeah, I've bought that with the aim to learn how to actually make sounds and mess around myself with different sounds and stuff, which should be fun actually.
You know, you're in for a long one too, because I know when I first started off, you had to always go into YouTube, that sort of thing, and like study how the pros were doing it too. So
yeah, I mean, I did music at secondary, well, high school, and I was the last year of school that I'd sort of, we messed around with one of those. I can't even remember what the name of the program was now, but that was so long ago that I would probably have to reteach myself from basic. But I think the beauty of that is, though, that because it's just me and a laptop, I can just mess around until I sort of get the hang of it, I suppose. So it should probably be quite messy at first, but should be a laugh.
I mean, that's how it normally starts out. As I say, do the rough draft first, and piece away and edit, that sort of thing too, until you eventually get your final copy, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I do have to ask about your music in general, because I know you said you know a little bit of piano and a little bit of guitar, but I guess who's doing the music for you in the background? Is there somebody who comes and helps out?
Yeah, so I go to a studio, and the producer there, his name's Talon. He's an incredible producer. I mean, so basically, I'll break it down. So when I write a song, obviously because I don't know how to play instruments properly to the point of playing a whole song, I will write the song. As I'm writing, I'll come up with the tune, sort of without any instruments, just in my head, and I'll record it, just me singing along to it without any sort of music. And then I'll go to the studio and I'll sort of show Talon the sounds and of what I've done, and I'll sort of give him the vibe of the song. So like with Freak Show, I gave him a few like artists, like so he got the vibe, and I gave him like the ideas, and I showed him that the sound of me singing the verse and the chorus, and he honestly he just picks up the idea straight away and just comes up with a sound, and then we sort of like work together with that, and yeah, it's incredible, really, how quickly he gets the sound that I envision when I sing it without a sound, if that makes sense. It's quite funny though, because obviously I don't play an instrument. Sometimes what I'm singing can be a bit like all over the place. So when I gave him Freak Show, he was like, oh, this is definitely going to be a tricky one, but it kind of fits the theme of the song. So I was like, bang on, that's great.
I was trying to remember what the one device was, because I think there are like some things where like you can either hum or you can like do the that sort of thing too, and like in a microphone, and
Yeah.
then it will try to like formulate a beat for you, for instance. I remember seeing those, and I'm thinking like, how the hell does it do that sort of thing? So
Yeah.
I think that's the way you kind of made it sound at first, but I think I know what you're talking about too. But I'm so busy thinking of like how you would do like sheet music too. So I don't know.
Oh, God.
How much? I would say, how much do you know about any of that?
Going back to school, we did some. If someone gave me sheet music now, I admittedly I would probably be quite lost. I reckon it wouldn't take long for me to refresh basic music, but really confusing sort of, nah, I wouldn't. I would probably be quite lost. I'd love to learn it, but I think, if someone gave it to me right now, I would have no idea.
It'd be like a foreign language just looking at it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean too. That was how it was with me when trying to study, because I was in strings, so I was so used to the bass clef. So then when you try to start studying tenor or treble clef, then it starts getting a little fuzzy right then and there too. So, so you got your process too. So at least it all worked out in the end too. So I guess jumping to the next one, I guess we can also talk about, since you talked about your lyrics a little bit, we can jump into that. So I guess what inspires your lyrical content?
I think it depends on what sort of like song I'm going for. I do definitely get a lot of inspiration from things that happen in my life or things I see happening in other people's lives, or something that just sort of like catches my attention. So like song by song, obviously, like Freak Show, I said, like, I got that from loving movies and seeing the villains and sort of that idea of it. But a song like Snakes and Ladders, my first song, I sort of used my experiences and other people's experiences of what it's like to have sort of like toxic people in their lives, and how, the world can be everyone's trying to sort of climb up the ladder, and there's like, sort of like using the game as a metaphor for like life's competition and not being able to trust people. So yeah, I definitely I use sort of things that happen and things I see around me, really.
Yeah. Normally, I think that's how it always goes when people like put any sort of music together. Like they'll explain about the life they were in, or a particular love song, for instance, some sort of breakup too. I don't know, because I think then you're starting to delve into country music at that point, to be honest. So that's pretty cool. And I guess, do you always try to have like a positive message, like at the end of when the song's starting to wrap up?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like definitely with Snakes and Ladders, I think the end of it is very like sort of you've won the board game, I suppose. And it's very, both that song and my second song, Easier Said Than Done. I mean, Easier Said Than Done is like a big middle finger to like anyone who's ever sort of like hurt you. And that song for me holds a very it's very meaningful to me. So with those two songs especially, I feel like they do sort of wrap up a message at the end, as sort of, don't worry about what other people think, do your own thing, you've got this sort of thing, sort of mentality.
Just be you, that sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. So I guess being an indie musician nowadays, especially now with COVID out of the way, I guess what challenges do you face nowadays in sort of the post-COVID world?
I think indie especially is like, it's not mainstream. Well, it's indie, so it's not going to be mainstream. So I think with that, it can be difficult to get the right audiences, because you get like a pop song, everyone will put on a pop song, like that will be on mainstream radio, it's everywhere. But with an indie song, it's harder to actually put it out there for people to see. So I think the beauty of it though is that a lot of indie musicians obviously have the same thing, like trying to get their music out there. So what I like about the challenges of it especially is things like band together, you can all sort of do it together, so their fans will come and listen to your stuff and your fans will listen to their stuff. And I think once you've actually got a group of people that like your music, it will start slowly expanding. But I do think it is tough as an indie musician to get that initial outreach at first, because of how niche audiences can be. Yeah, it is a challenge, but you got to keep at it. Otherwise, if you release one song and it doesn't get anywhere, you think, oh, tough luck. You just keep trying, and eventually you'll get somewhere.
Yeah, that's normally how it always goes too. Especially anytime you like start off, and I guess nowadays, since it's such a crowded marketplace with Spotify, I guess, do you use Bandcamp and some of those other ones?
Yeah.
So you can see it gets pretty crowded. So I mean, you're dealing with, as I would say, a saturated market with a whole lot of people who are trying to do the same thing too. So competition gets a little tough at times, but it's also good being in band together too. So that way everybody's able to contribute in some way. That's why we said, you follow me, I'll follow you, that sort of thing too.
Yeah.
I think funny enough, it kind of delves into the, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Actually, it took me a while to notice your shirt too. I know it says Young Blood on it. I guess, how did you find out about some of those groups? Did your mom, or I guess your dad at one point, introduce you to some sort of music? Or I guess, how'd you find out about like rap and hip hop and that sort of genre?
So rap, I used to listen to a lot of, my mum used to listen to a lot of Eminem, So I sort of like started learning how to rap along to his music, much to, my mum's disliking with sort of the bad language when I was younger. Um, but yeah, and she used to play a lot of Mika, which is one of my favorite songs to gig to is Grace Kelly. I love singing that song. So yeah, I definitely got some influences, like some classic influences from her for sure. Youngbloods, literally, my friend just said to me one day, "Oh, I think you'll like this artist. Have a listen to his song." And I think that was just before COVID, and it wasn't until COVID actually hit, and I started listening to his songs and what he was doing throughout lockdown. Because I think when lockdown hit, he's British, and I think he was stuck in America. So he was doing these little vlogs, and I think that's just I started listening to his music even more, and yeah, that's how that happened, really.
I remember always Eminem having some of that graphic sort of lyrics at times, because I think one song was "Go to Sleep" or something like that, and I'm thinking like that guy's pretty dark at times. So, but I guess you can't really blame him too, because of his upbringing as well. But I know some songs, especially because I used to play the American version of football, just to not get confused with soccer, as you guys would call football in your country. So they would play songs like "Till I Collapse," and then I always get it mixed up because I can always remember the lyrics. You only got one chance to blow, or something like that. You only got one shot to not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Was that what it was called, or what was the song? What was the song title for that? Because I always miss it for some reason.
That's Lose Yourself. No. To Lose Yourself. I think it is an Eminem song. I think it's Lose Yourself. Might be. Maybe. I don't want to say for sure. I think it is. It's definitely Eminem, but I think it's Lose Yourself from the movie that he did. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that one was also one of the songs we used to get pumped up, that sort of thing, before each game too. So it was definitely Eminem. I just cannot remember the song title at this point, and it's going to drive me crazy. And then as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to remember what it is and be like, "Damn it!"
That's always the way. I'm like 99% sure it's Lose Yourself.
I think you're right too. So
yeah.
but regardless, we'll digress for another day on that one. So let's see what challenges. I guess what sort of advice would you give to other indie musicians, and particularly those in our little Facebook community of Band Together?
I think I would say keep going, keep doing your thing. If you've got other people telling you to do it a certain way that you're not you want to do it your own way, just do it your own way. Like, don't worry about what other people think, and sort of be yourself, especially with the sort of like whole indie vibe. I think it's very much about being who you want to be, and not letting anyone else sort of like cloud your judgment. And yeah, I would just say keep sticking at it, even if you feel like your music isn't going where you want it to go. Just keep trying, because it will eventually, something will click and it'll fall into place with enough like hard work and grafting, I think.
Yeah, it's it's advice you normally don't like to hear because it's so cliche at times, but at the same time you have to keep repeating it.
It's like, it's when I get asked that question, it's like that is what I stick by, but I know that it's, people will see it as cliche, but it's like, well, it's true. Sort of like, it's like I put out a song, but if I don't do the work and the grafting and the promotion, and nothing's gonna happen. And I think especially with the worrying about what other people think, I mean, me especially, when I was younger, I was very shy and definitely very socially awkward, and I would sort of like, I wouldn't say anything to anyone. I wouldn't stick up for myself, and I think that music has helped me express myself more. So when I sort of give that advice out, I generally do mean it. Like, be yourself. Don't, because for so long I was trying to be what I thought everyone else wanted me to be like. So I think it's something I stick by very strongly.
Absolutely too. Spoke like a true prodigy. So we did pretty few questions pretty good here. So I guess we'll go ahead and jump into some of the fun ones. I guess we'll start back with the movie one, but I know you kind of referenced it earlier with The Dark Knight, but I guess why would you say it's your favorite movie outside of Heath Ledger?
I just love comic book and superhero movies. I mean, I am a DC fan, but I'm also a huge Marvel geek. Like I have like so many. Like you can probably see some of the pop figures I have behind me, but I'm such a nerd. I do love a good superhero film. I've always loved Batman as well, but Marvel, I do. I think I wasn't. Admittedly, I didn't used to watch Marvel movies. It was only until lockdown I sort of got Disney Plus and watched them all. But I'm going off between Dark Knight and Marvel. It's like probably DC fans and Marvel fans are freaking out right now. But no, so Dark Knight. I remember watching that at home with my mum when I was like, I think I was like 11 or 12, and like she was talking about how it was her favorite movie when she was growing up. Not growing up. She went to go see it at the cinema, and it was sort of like a rainy day, and I just watched it with her, and the Joker freaked me out. It definitely gave me nightmares for like a week, but I loved that movie, and it's sort of like if I put that movie on now, I can definitely recite it word for word how many times I watched it. But yeah, going back to movies in general, definitely a huge Marvel geek. I mean, I love the Thor movies especially, and yeah, just I'm a very big Marvel nerd.
Yeah, I can understand in a way too. And Christian Bale, actually, he did pretty good Batman, to be honest. But I guess, would you say Kevin Conroy was the best Batman?
Ooh. Yes, maybe. I don't know. Like they both. I would say Christian Bale is a better Bruce Wayne, and Kevin Conroy is a better Batman. I would say, because Christian Bale has the sort of like his Bruce Wayne is very, very like sort of ladies' man, sort of how Bruce Wayne is supposed to be, and then Kevin Conroy is like the proper like brooding Batman and sort of a badass basically, for sure.
It's almost like you had to put one and one together to make two, that sort of thing. And
yeah.
Like Christian Bale be the Bruce Wayne, the playboy billionaire, as I normally like to say, or $1 billion playboy. So
yeah,
I could see. But I guess, so what do they call those little action figures behind you on your dresser?
Yeah, they're my pop figures. I mean, that side's my my sort of DC side, but the other side I've got like probably about triple the amount of Marvel figures. My favorite like fictional character is Loki from the Marvel movies, and I've got about like, I'd say there's about 10 different pop figures of just his character over there. So yeah, when I say nerd, I definitely mean nerd.
It's not just the glasses anymore, it's the collection of certain geeky things with comic books and action figures, that sort of thing. So I can see why. I never went that far, but I actually started getting into comic books recently. Not so much like the hardcovers anymore, but actually now I was able to do it on my iPad. And one I actually strongly recommend to read is Batman White Knight.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've read that one.
That one's actually a little bit interesting one. You'll be surprised about this one, but it does involve Batman and the Joker. So,
okay.
You know what? Are you big into video games too, by any chance?
Yes, I am.
I guess, did you ever play the Arkham series for Batman?
yeah, of course, yeah. Although controversial opinion, my favorite one is the Arkham Origins one. So it's not technically part of that series because it's like different. I know some of the actors were different, but my favorite one's the Origins one. But I do like the classic Arkham Asylum game. That's definitely, it's such a good game.
I think it's more fun because afterwards it was a little bit easier to actually play the whole thing than just beating Riddler's thing afterwards. It wasn't like trying to beat all the other villains. So
yeah, it was, yeah.
But Arkham City was good in its own right, but unfortunately I think for me personally, I think it was just a little bit harder. So I think it's just something I did like.
Oh yeah, they do get progressively so much harder. I mean, the first one's sort of like, anyone can sort of play it, and whether you play video games or not, I think eventually you'll be able to, get it. But especially like Arkham City, I struggled with that one. I did struggle to actually get past the levels.
Some of them, at least. I know Riddler was always a pain in the ass, to be honest. So I can see. That's pretty cool. And was gonna say, did you ever get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by any chance?
I didn't know. My mum used to. As a kid, she loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I never really. I'd say I'd never really liked it, but I've never really actually given it a chance. I've never seen any movies or watched any shows or anything. So honestly, I've no idea whether I would like it or not.
I think the movies have always kind of flopped in a certain way, depending on like what the critics might say here and there too. I think the most recent one was actually a Nickelodeon one where let's say the animation was like clay in a way because it's not like actual skin or anything like that. So I'm not too sure what to make of it at this point. I've always thought the movies never did good, but series were always good to like pretty damn good, that sort of thing. So I'll leave it up to you to decide. So, but I guess going on to the next one. What is currently your favorite food?
My favorite food. Oh, I'd say I've definitely got a sweet tooth. Like I love a bit of chocolate. I don't love sort of sweet or candy sweets. It's not really my thing. But like chocolate, I do love a piece of chocolate. But I also pizza. Pizza's good. I do like a bit of pizza.
I'll say, don't tell me you're the one who put pineapple on pizza.
No, no pineapple on my pizza. No, thank you.
I think I remember a funny video a friend of mine had showed me way back then. It was like Arnold Schwarzenegger or some guy who was impersonating his voice, saying like, "If you put something crazy like pineapple, I'll kill you." That sort of thing. So
yeah, no pineapple on pizza, not for me.
Okay, that's good. I guess what toppings do you like? In all seriousness,
I like the sort of like the spicy the spicy meat feast ones, like spicy pepperoni. I like occasionally like barbecue chicken and stuff as well, but my go-to is spicy pepperoni.
I never quite understood barbecue chicken to be honest, but I've always done a meat eaters sort of pizza too. They get the ham, bacon, sausage, pepperoni, that sort of thing. I actually do like that, but we also do a deluxe, which has the mixture of veggies on it at times.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's good.
Those ones are always good. And I guess what is your favorite drink? I guess both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, because I don't know about the drinking laws in the UK, to be honest, but I'm assuming they're 16 or something, or 18?
No. So, drinking laws in the UK is 18 and over. It's 21 in America, right?
Yeah, but ours are much heavier than everybody else's, so...
Yeah. Non-alcoholic, I do love an iced coffee. I have to say, like on the way to work in the mornings, there's literally a Starbucks next to my work. So I'm like, everyone from my work, we are constantly going in there on the way and getting like a coffee or an iced coffee. So that's my non-alcoholic. Alcoholic, probably, I do like a vodka and lemonade or a vodka lime and soda. But then again, we also at work, we have to make, like if I'm on the bar at work, we've got like a cocktail menu. And I'm terrible at making some of these cocktails. They're like, one of them's like a rainbow dreams. You have to like layer it with different colours. I can't do it, but it tastes nice when someone else makes it properly. I think when I try to do it, it goes grey. So, I actively avoid trying to make that one. But it tastes good, that one, the rainbow dreams one.
I see. Actually, I keep thinking of a double rainbow sort of thing where that guy... I was assuming he was pretty high on something, to be honest, but he was like talking about how there's this double rainbow forming after a storm. It's like double rainbow, that sort of thing. So that's some crazy shit going on, to be honest. But that's actually interesting too, I guess. What do they mix with that cocktail?
Quite a bit of everything, really. You've got obviously vodka. Off the top of my head, you've got grenadine for the red. You've got a shot of blue like sours to add the blue, and then you've got something else on top. It's like a lot of different like syrups and flavored vodkas to make it sort of the colors mix properly. As I said, when I do it, it just goes weird. Great. I've done it successfully like twice, but yeah, I'm not the best at making it.
It actually sounds like a rainbow version of a Long Island iced tea, which pretty much mixes everything but the kitchen sink in. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
They sell.
Yeah.
I guess
I can make a Long Island iced tea because it doesn't have to be a certain colour. So I can do that one because it doesn't have to it doesn't have to look like different rainbow colours, does it? So
No, it's technically mixed together, but I'm sure you gotta get the portions right, to be honest. So
yeah, I think the trick is that you've got to like fill the glass up with the right amount of ice so that the colours balance, and you have to like tip the glass and angle. Some people use a spoon to angle it all, and it's quite confusing.
that's interesting. I think one day when I get back to the UK, because I was there back in 2019. In fact, I actually got a memory on my Facebook page not too long ago.
Oh, really?
And
Whereabouts in the UK did you go?
this one only stuck to London, kind of in and around there too, because we did get to Windsor Castle. We didn't really venture out so far north or anywhere else, but I think we were looking at a trip sometime, maybe in the coming years or something like that. So we'll have to see what happens.
Nice.
It's still up in the air at the moment. So, but it would be nice. Hopefully Sussex or Essex is one of the places we at least get to visit, and then get to try that rainbow Long Island iced tea, as I like to call it. So
Make sure that I'm not the one behind the bar.
we'll have to see what happens. But it'd be nice to meet you too. So if it ever happens, maybe I'll hit you up at some point. So
Oh, yeah.
all right. So moving on, and I guess we're down to the last one here. But what's currently your favorite song?
My favourite song. My favourite song changes like all the time. It's definitely like, if I hear a new song and I fall in love with it, that's it. I think at the moment, I've got two. It's probably the new Billie Eilish song from the Barbie movie. I think I love it. It's constantly in my head. And the lyrics are really powerful as well. I really like that song. And then funnily enough, Youngblood just released a song as well called Low Life, which I'm obsessed with as well. I was actually on my birthday, he was at a pub in Camden in London, and he announced, like, I think it was 2 days after my birthday, I was just chilling at home with my friends and we were going to go out in the evening anyway, and he posted online that he was going to be at this pub in like 3 hours and the first 200 people could be let in, and it was coming out. So I literally said to my friends, I was like, right, we're going London. And then we travelled up to London. It took us about an hour and a half to get there by train. And, part of us knew that we probably wouldn't get in, but by some miracle, we did end up getting in. And yeah, the memories I associate with that song, it's, being there, and, I got to meet him, have my picture with him. And it was just a really fun night that I associate with that song now. So that's definitely one of my favourite songs at the moment because of, the memories and stuff. And it's just a cool song anyway, to be fair. So
What'd you say the name of the song was?
Low Life.
Low Life. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And actually, I was going to say, that was the best day ever, or it was the best birthday present ever. So
Oh, probably a bit both, to be fair.
a little bit of both. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, all right. That's awesome. It was also good you got a picture with him and you got up close and personal too. So that's pretty awesome. So
Yeah, it was cool, yeah.
all right. So Shannon, we're reaching the end of my podcast right here. We got one more question left, but I guess before we jump into that, did you have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
Just thank you for, having me today. It's been a laugh actually. And yeah, thank you for having me, I suppose.
No worries. And special thanks to Vox and Sticks for putting the band together group together, because this actually really helped. So I know they're kind of doing a similar thing with their little show, doing like interviews with like indie artists mainly. It seems like recently it's been like a lot of like metal, for instance. So
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say I got you first. That's what I would say. So you gotta catch up, Christina and Greg. So all right, that's pretty cool. So for the last question right here, you probably kind of already hit on it, but let's just kind of go through it nonetheless. Given what COVID has done, I guess, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world?
I think post-COVID, it has been a struggle for musicians, especially because for musicians that were gigging a lot, I know that before COVID, I was getting somewhere with my gigging. I was supposed to go sort of quite far away out of, where I am locally to do a few gigs. And I think because of COVID happened, that all got cancelled. And then by the time people started coming out of that, people didn't want to do it anymore because, you know, they were worried about, like, you know, interacting. And I think since then live music is struggling, and the music industry has struggled quite a bit. But I think, reiterating what I said before, you just got to keep going with it. Keep grafting, keep working, and but also keep the fun element as well. Don't work, so don't, you know, sort of make it a chore so that you don't want to do it. You got to keep the fun and the passion, and get that right balance. I think balance of making sure you're enjoying what you're doing, and keeping that passion there.
Spoken like a true prodigy. Take two. That sort of thing. So I know I kind of said it earlier too, but that's why I had to say take two, to be honest. So that's pretty cool. But I guess I know I was talking about to be the last one, but I guess, how has the music scene started to come in your neck of the woods and in the UK in general?
I think, you know, like everywhere else, we have struggled post COVID, but I think we are getting back to it now. It took quite a while for me to start getting gigs again, but I think I'm back getting somewhere now. I've got quite a few gigs lined up. I've done quite a few gigs this summer as well, so I think we're getting there.
It's the beginning of a new chapter, and hopefully a good number of chapters to follow afterwards too. All of good endings, needless to say too. So, but here's hoping. Let's hope there's no more craziness like what happened in 2020. So
No.
Fingers crossed. But here's hoping. So, all right. So, Shannon, we reached the end of my podcast right here, and we talked for a good hour right now. I guess, did you have any final words or any shout outs you want to say before we close?
Yeah, just check out my new song Freak Show that came out last week. It's on Spotify. Well, it's on all platforms. And yeah, once again, thank you for listening and having me.
No worries. And I guess I was gonna say, how else can people reach you outside of YouTube and I guess Spotify?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, Shannon Darcy, and all the same on TikTok as well with Shannon Darcy. So yeah, pretty much most platforms, Shannon Darcy, without the apostrophe.
Without the apostrophe, yes. Otherwise, I'm going to say the RC. That's the other thing too. All right. So everyone, my guest today was Shannon Darcy, hailing from the UK right now. She's got her music out on Spotify. Go hit her up on the socials and everything. Subscribe wherever you need to subscribe. And go check out her music too. She's working wonders these days. So, Shannon, best of luck on your journey. Stay safe.
You.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Yeah, take care. Thank you.